Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Coffee and Colorful Conversation. I hope everyone is having a wonderful morning. I had a nice morning walk. I did my Pocahontas walk on the beach. So I feel good. I'm alert and awake for you guys today. Hey, Patrice. Hi, Deborah. Hi, Lorraine. Welcome, everyone. So I've been doing some research. I am involved. I was asked to do a Salon summit that I'm very excited about. And I'm going to be interviewed in an hour for that. So this morning I did a little bit of research to prepare for that. And I have to say, I'm really a little fired up today about the state of our industry, what's going on with the industry as a whole, and how much it has changed, I think, the most in like the last 3 years. So I looked up some statistics to prepare for this class, and in 2019, these are the numbers. The average salary for a hairstylist in the United States is roughly $23,660 annually, $11.38 hourly. And according to Indeed, the average salary is $10.63 per hour in the US. So then I thought about what I wanted to talk about today and all the correlations of everything going on in the industry. And I said, let me look up the average income of a distributor sales representative, that person that comes into the salon and interrupts the flow of the day. They mean well. They want to provide products for you so that you can do your job, but they show up unannounced. They never have an appointment. They interrupt your time with the client and basically are a glorified order taker. They have their little iPad and you say, I need 6 of 6N, 7 of 7N, 12 of this, 8 of this. You rattle off your order. They plug it into their little iPad and they're on their way. So they get to go out and sit down and have a normal lunch. They're not standing on their feet for 10 to 12 hours a day, not going to the bathroom, not drinking water, not having lunch the way hairstylists are. So when I looked it up, the average income for a sales rep is $63,000. I don't know about you, but I think that's a little backward. So I thought about last night, what did I want to talk about on my coffee chat? And I just think that the whole entire industry is so upside down. The manufacturers that make the hair color that we then place on our client's head, they continue to raise the price of a tube of color. It's gotten so out of hand. And us hairstylists, we have a cap at how much that we can charge for a service. So if you follow me regularly, you'll know that I talk about average price of services and where you need to be in order to make a decent living. And there's a math equation that I heard years ago that said, years like 20 years ago, they said your cost of your service should be roughly 11 times the cost of the product used. So therefore, if a tube of color right now in 2019 is $9, which is insane, it's barely even a full 2 ounces when you squeeze it out and measure on a scale. It's never what they say is in there. It's like the bag of potato chips that's this big and there's this much potato chips in the bottom. So that would mean just your single process root retouch should be $99, not including the haircut or the style. I would venture to say that most of you are not charging $99 for your root retouch. So what's happening is these giant companies are buying up all these little companies. So people keep switching color brands thinking it's going to be better with a different brand. It's going to be more reasonable. The manufacturer is going to care about me. They're going to give me, prizes and free education. And that's not happening anymore. The large companies are showing up at the shows, but you're being charged to go to the class. And then if it's a really good educator, you're being charged a separate fee for their individual class. And these sales reps, like I have a really good friend who's a sales rep, and I'm not going to say what company she's with, but she has a really awesome job. She loves it. She basically has a relationship with Salon. She goes in, 4 of these, 6 of these, 12 of these. Oh, this is on sale. Make sure you buy this and you get a free developer and whatever. every year she gets a free trip to Maui, Hawaii, and stays at the Four Seasons. So we pay for that. Us hairdressers that make $23,000 are using the color that she's selling and providing this wonderful vacation for her. So I love her. I don't want to begrudge her making a living. She works hard. She's really good at what she does, but I can go on my computer. If you give me an account and give me what's in there, I can click 6 of this, 4 of this. I cannot have that rep. Years ago, the sales rep used to come in and wipe your shelves down, put the stickers for the prices on there, count your inventory, tell you how many turns you've had since her last visit, he or she's last visit. You know, oh, this hairspray's been sitting. Make sure you do a 2-for-1 or do some kind of sale. They were our partner in our business. Now it's like they're a nuisance that shows up and interrupts our day. I get that, my lip automatically. As soon as the guy comes in unannounced, I'm like, oh, here we go. And he wants to chat and schmooze. I don't want to chat and schmooze. I'm there to do a job. I want to do my client's hair. They paid for my time. I want to give them my attention. So with these average incomes being so low and the lack of quality education, everything seems to be getting worse. Now we have so much more competition. If you follow my Instagram, I jumped on Instagram for my Tip Tuesday that I do every Tuesday. And I also did a IGTV about how stiff the competition is now. Now we have, since the beginning of time, we've had to compete with the kitchen beautician, the woman who was a really busy hairdresser, who had a baby, decided she didn't want to leave her baby, and she wanted to do her favorite clients out of her kitchen. That's been going on since the beginning of time. So I'll see people on a rant in the forum saying, I want to call the state board and I want to shut her down. Just let it go. That's been going on forever. And to me, any woman that's happy putting her head in your sink that you just had broccoli and baked potato in from your dinner, that's not good service. That's not a good experience. I would never want to do that. I still don't want to do it. I don't want to do my own hair in my own house and have to have that kind of experience. So that's not your client anyway. So I think Anne is on here now. Anne is one of my students in my monthly membership, and she reached out to me and said, hey, what do you think about this Madison Reed? And I was like, you know, when I first found out about it, if you're not familiar, Madison Reed is a company run by a corporate woman who has nothing to do with the hair industry. She was a busy woman that found that she couldn't get an appointment at the salon during the hours that worked for her. She was very corporate. She had to go either late at night or on a weekend, and then she didn't want to give up her Saturday. She wanted to be with her family. So she created this company, Madison Reed, and she got all these investors to throw money at it. And basically they do a list of questions asking you, what's your eye color? What's your natural hair color? What is your desired color? What is it you're trying to do? You know, how much gray would you say you have? And they'll have a picture showing them. It's basically set up that you're doing your own consultation. And then at the end of it, they mix up a formula for you and they put the color in a box with gloves and instructions and a little applicator bottle. Every single thing that you need shows up at your door. So at first I was like, oh my God, here we go again. Like, not only do we have to compete with the cost cutting, you know, in and out chain salons, the home salons, now we have to compete with this Madison Reed. Then I found out that Target is putting a full-time person in the hair color aisle at their stores to do consultations and show people what hair color to purchase. So all of a sudden it just feels like everybody wants a piece of our little pie. Like, there's only so much ability for us to earn a living as it is. We've already given our retail over to Amazon, Ulta, and Sephora. We've already lost that battle. All we have now is the hair services, and now there's Madison Reed and, you know, people in the Target line saying, oh, you're 50% gray and your natural's 5, pick up this level, you know, 5N box and put it on just on your roots, set the top. They're giving them instructions the way that we would to do their hair. So there's this whole thing where everybody on the forum says, you know, oh, she used box dye and it has metallic salts and it's bad for your hair. Guess what? It's not. But none of that is true. Hair color in a box is exactly what we use. The same manufacturer that sells us that tube of color, Schwarzkopf does it, L'Oreal does it, Clairol does it. Every big monster hair color company has an at-home version of color. It's exactly the same stuff. It's probably maybe a little bit cheaper ingredients, not as many conditioning emollients or whatever. But basically, it does the exact same thing to cover gray hair. You put it on, you set the timer, it covers the gray. The difference between that box of color in the grocery store and what you're doing in the salon is your expertise, your knowledge, you making it special. So if you are in the habit of mixing up 6N and 20 volume, slap it on the head in 12 seconds. You're taking monster whomper sections this thick, slapping your touch up on in 5 minutes, setting the timer because you can't wait to actually go smoke a cigarette. I've seen that a million times in, people that smoke that work for me. They can't wait to get through the touch up to go get the cigarette. So you're slapping it on, you're setting the timer, you're outside puffing away. She's sitting there, just on the clock. And then you take her to the sink, you turn the water on, you smush everything through, you're bringing that permanent color through to the ends, blowing up that cuticle unnecessarily, using the same color that's on her regrowth and just smushing it through like you did back in 1982. She, gets her ends refreshed that way. And then you're using, some cheap shampoo that you don't even know the pH of or what it does. You're not shutting that pH back down. You're leaving it wide open and high. And then she goes home and uses cheap shampoo. And then she comes back in and her hair's all fried and frazzled and you do it again. Put the roots on, suck it through the ends, and you do it over and over again. So if that's what you're doing, you are not going to ever get past that $23,000 income, because why should I come to you? If I can get a box delivered to my home and I can sit and watch my favorite show on Netflix while my color processes and have my favorite beverage and my favorite comfortable pajamas, and I can sit there and process and I can jump in the shower and do exactly what you're doing at the salon, why am I going to pay you $99 to do the same thing for me if you're just using a 6N or 7N? So think about that. It has to be special. It has to be customized. I'm not saying create this 3-color formula that you're just mixing up an expensive 7N anyway. That's not what I'm saying. But make it special where you're putting the hairline cream around her forehead so she doesn't stain. And then she tries to do it at home and she sees that she has this big black stain around her skin and she's stuck with it for 3 days. That may make her realize that it was really special at the salon. Take the time, put it on the tips of her ears, make sure you do around the back of her neck, make sure that you don't drown her at the sink when you shampoo her, make sure you take the time to keep her dry and comfortable. And make the actual color service special. Do a different formula. If the front is more gray than the back, do a different formula in the front than you do in the back, and make sure she knows it. Have both of those bowls on your cart and wheel it around and let her see that. So she knows, wow, I'm not going to buy 2 or 3 different boxes at the supermarket. By the time I buy, the consumer, I don't even know how much hair color in the store costs. I'm guessing like $10 maybe. So if she were to buy 3 boxes of color and do what you do in the salon, she's already at $30. If your retouch is $60, now all of a sudden you don't seem that expensive because you deserve to be paid at least $30 to put it on for her. So the value increases when you make it special. I talk all the time in my book, in all of my courses, in any of my coffee chats or any teaching that I do about always adding dimension into the hair. Dimension is not just for blondes. You don't have to be a blonde to have different tones and highlights going through your hair. Brunettes should be multidimensional. Redheads are gorgeous with dimension. Don't just do a roots to ends red. Make it special. Put some ambery butterscotch pieces through. Put some red violet pieces through. Do something so special that they notice that you did something special. I always recommend doing it the first time and not charging them, because they'll say yes. I'll say, we've been doing the same color on you for a while. I want to put a couple little sparkles. I always call them sparkles. I don't say, let me bleach your hair out and, take all the color, strip all the color out of it, blow up your cuticle, make your hair dry and crunchy to give you dimension. I say, let's add a few interesting sparkles around your face to just brighten you up. And they light up, and I do it right at the sink. I rinse the retouch off, and I take lightener and I paint it, just a couple strategic pieces right around the face, lay it back in the bowl. It takes 6 minutes. Just watch it, let it come up a little bit, rub the lightener off with your finger. It looks good. Take it off. Boom, done. No charge. Every single person that has had that done comes back on the next visit and says, can you do that sparkle thing again? Now this time it's not free. I say, absolutely. And I tack on $25 to her ticket. So that is how you're going to keep the clients in the salon. Don't be an assembly line. Don't just slap on that touch up. Make it special. Take your time. Something else that I do that makes me stand out, that people, if they have to go to somebody else, if I'm on vacation, if I am, out sick, whatever happens, they have to go even to somebody else's chair within my salon, and they notice that the other person doesn't coat the ends of their hair during their touch-up. Every single client that sits in my chair, whether they have highlights or not, while their single process is on their retouch, I put heavy conditioning treatment on the rest of their hair. So wherever the retouch color ends, like say it's right here, from here all the way down to the length of the hair, I put it on like I'm painting the hair. Like I douse the hair in a thick, heavy conditioner. So she's sitting there getting a conditioning treatment while she's getting her regrowth touched up. And the bonus is when I hit that hair with the water, I don't muddy up any of the sparkles or the dimension that she has. It completely bounces off of the hair because it has that conditioner on there. That's something special. I started doing that years ago and I offered it free the first visit. I said, I'm going to give you a conditioning treatment while your color's on. It's going to feed your hair with everything that it needs while you're sitting here anyway. It's no extra time. Today, I'm doing it at no charge. If you would like to get it each time, there's an additional $10 charge. So think about that. I see 8 to 10 clients a day, 10 times 10, every single day, 5 days a week, times 50 weeks a year. That's a lot of extra money. And I'm giving them something special. I'm not a snake oil salesman. I'm not just doing it just to make the extra money. The conditioner probably costs me maybe $1.50, and I'm charging them $10 every single client, every single day, every week, every year. That's an additional income that I didn't have before. And they appreciate that their hair always feels great. So there's ways of making yourself stand out. Serve them coffee in a beautiful ceramic mug. Don't even come near me with a styrofoam cup. I am a coffee snob. I will not drink coffee out of styrofoam. If I'm at a soccer game with my kids and it's sheer desperation, I didn't have my coffee that morning and that's all they have, I'm like making a face every time my mouth hits the styrofoam. It gives me the chills. I hate it. I'm like, why would you ask someone to drink out of a styrofoam cup? It's like inviting someone to your home and having dinner for them and giving paper plates and a styrofoam cup. It's just not necessary. You can go to Marshall's and get 6 mugs for, $8 and just make sure you keep them clean and make it a wonderful presentation. We've talked on here about doing a heated neck wrap in the winter when it's cold, when they're getting their retouch. Just put a paper towel in between the neck wrap and their skin so that the hair color doesn't get on the neck wrap. Throw it in the microwave. It has all those little herbs and aromatherapy, and sit it around their neck. So they're sitting there getting a warm neck massage basically while they're processing. It's so simple to stand out. So don't worry about Madison Reed. Don't worry about kitchen beauticians. The one thing that bothers me a lot that's new is, there's now apps like Uber for hairstylists to show up at your door. There's on-call stylists that belong to these apps, and they'll go to somebody's house and do a full balayage, like a full salon service at the person's house. That's pretty hard to compete with People are introverted. They don't want to sit at a salon. They don't want to hear all the gossip and the craziness in the salon. They don't enjoy it. There's a whole segment of our clientele that does not enjoy being in the salon with us. They go strictly because they have gray hair that they don't like, and it's a job to them to get it done. They're the people that are going to leave us for these at-home services. They can sit on their computer and do their thing and have somebody show up at their door and do everything and stick their head in their sink, which I still don't get because I'm so picky with my dimension that I won't do hair. I have a huge shower here that I would be able to do somebody's hair at home. I refuse to because I rinse things in sections. I pull foil by foil when I rinse so that it doesn't muddy all together. So I don't know how these at-home people are giving quality work. Like celebrities, Kris Jenner has Tracy Cunningham come to her house and she lays on her kitchen counter and lays back and puts her head in the sink. And that's how Tracy does her hair. I'm like, you're a freaking Kardashian. You have millions upon millions of dollars. Throw a damn hairstylist sink in your house and have a room for Tracy when she comes. Don't make her hunch over your kitchen sink when you're that wealthy. I don't get it. I don't get why. I get why a celebrity doesn't want to be in the salon around other people, but I would think, open up on a Sunday and just do a celebrity kind of thing. Like, don't hunch over somebody's kitchen sink, but whatever, it makes them feel special. So they're all the things that we're competing with. So if we want to up level our income as stylists and not be in that $10 and whatever I said, $10.63 or something crazy is a disgrace, an absolute disgrace. It makes me ill. I spoke with a sweet $10.63. I spoke with a really sweet girl that came from Washington, D.C. to the Philly premiere show. She had said on a forum, I really want to go to this hair show, and the girls in the salon are kind of mean girling me. They're not inviting me to come with them, and I don't want to go by myself. I'm nervous. She's like 20 years old, no money because she's working for like $8 an hour as an assistant. So I talked her into going. I was like, listen, the best thing I ever did for my career was going to Hair Color USA alone. I had to get on an airplane. If you have my book, you know the whole story. I had to take a taxi to the airport, had never been on an airplane before, took an airplane to Miami alone, had to eat all of my meals alone. I didn't even have a credit card. I had to make sure that I had enough cash for everything. And it changed my life. I met so many great people and I came out of there understanding hair color, which is what my goal is now as an educator. I want to be that person to this young girl or anybody who's struggling in the industry. I want to get her over that $8 an hour hurdle into making $50,000 behind a chair. And I want to get her there in 1 year. I don't want her to have to wait 5 years to reach $50,000. So she came and I was so excited to see her. So we exchanged information and I said, I want to interview you for my membership. I want, your perspective on the industry as somebody brand new. What did it feel like to be at your first hair show? How did it feel to travel by yourself? Yada, yada. So she called me. She was so appreciative that I interviewed her, and she called me a few days ago and she was really upset. And she's like, I think I'm going to quit. I think I'm going to give up. And I said, no, don't quit. So I said, what's going on? And it was all the typical petty bullshit nonsense that happens in salons. And people drop out like crazy because this is what happens. You did your apprenticeship, you did your shampoo time, you hated every minute of it. You finally get busy, you finally understand what to do, you get behind a chair, you start to be successful, and now you have an assistant. And how quickly we forget how shitty that stage was of when we were shampooing and helping someone else. We forget very quickly, and we're the eye rolls and the hurry up, you're taking too long to shampoo, you're backing up my day, and you're bitching at them and you're mean to them, and you send somebody out for a coffee run and you don't ask them if they want coffee. You don't even treat them like a human being. So then they get discouraged and quit, and they go back to school to become an x-ray technician, or they go work in an office, and they just spent $20,000 on beauty school. And because everyone in the salon mean girled them, they drop out. So I get both sides. I get the salon owner side of, I was a salon owner for 30 years, and it gets pretty damn tiring training people and giving them your heart and soul to have them build up a book and then go 2 blocks away because they gave them more commission and they leave you and they take all of your business with them. I get it. I get it. I've been there. But think about that new person right out of school and how frustrating it is for them to try and understand. So I was writing notes as I spoke to her because I wanted to really listen to what she was saying. And she said, on the interview, she didn't even ask anything about me. She doesn't even know anything about me. And I said, this is going to sting a little bit, but I'm going to say it because I'm a coach and I'm a life coach and a color coach. And you need to hear this. That owner doesn't care anything about you personally. And I'm sorry if hearing that hurts your feelings, but it's the truth. She has been burnt so many times by people just like you that come and absorb all the information and go to all the classes and learn all the things. And then you never really wanted to work there in the first place. You took the job because it was the first job to offer you a job, first salon to offer you a position. So you take it. You're miserable the whole time that you're there, but you're like, oh, this girl's really good. I'm learning a lot from her. And then as soon as you get it, you leave and you go to another salon that doesn't have a training program, that doesn't send you to education, that doesn't do anything to benefit from your income. And then they make all the money from you because you're already trained. And this keeps happening over and over and over. So now salons are doing away with their training program because they're like, I'm not doing it. I'm just going to put you in there and let you shampoo the heads. And if you stay, you stay. If you don't, you don't. I'll just get somebody to replace you. So it's an absolute mess. The whole industry is a mess. And then you have people coming out of beauty school saying, well, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that assistant thing. I know what I'm doing and I do hair at home and all my friends love me and I'm going to go right into a suite. And then they're boo-hooing on the forum saying, oh my gosh, I can't pay my rent. How am I going to get clients? Like, where are these people coming from? And I'm like, they're at home putting on their Madison Reed. They're going to their girlfriend in her kitchen. I just walked with my girlfriend and she's like, oh, I just walk into the Sally Beauty Supply and I buy my color and I put it on myself and I do my work while it's on and then I wash it out. So she has a million friends that are hairdressers and she's doing it herself. So think about when you go into work today, why are you special? Why should that person keep coming back to you? And if you can't think of at least 5 reasons why you're special and why you're doing something different than she can do at home, start doing something special that she can't do at home. Have that special custom blended conditioning treatment that only you have. Talk about when you're rinsing her hair. I do a Wella service after every color because when you color hair, you're raising the pH levels and you need it to come back down to that 4.5 to 5.5. Are you thinking about that when you're coloring hair? Or are you like, oh crap, I'm behind. I got to get her to my chair. I'm skipping that. I don't have time for that sealing service that brings her pH down. And then you're sending her off with, the color still kind of processing on her head. And then you wonder why she's faded and her grays are popping through sooner. You're not educating her on what she needs to do. So as you're pumping that service in your hand, they'll say like, oh, that smells good. And I'm like, oh, I know. Doesn't it smell great? I said, this is the only conditioner that I can't sell you. This is something special that we use in the salon. Hair color raises the pH level in your hair and we need to bring it back down before you leave. So we seal in your color and we make it last longer. Oh, okay. So now when she's in the drugstore, she knows she can't get that special sealer. And she's like, oh, this is going to be covering my gray, but it's not going to seal down my cuticle and bring my pH back down. So I need to go back to Elaine because she takes care of that for me. So go the extra mile, do the extra services. Be smart about your conditioning treatments. Make sure that it's not all fluff. A lot of people are really addicted to these bond builders and they're putting it in their color for a root retouch. I disagree with that. I think this is fully keratinized, healthy, wonderful hair. Look at all my mosquito bites. I'm a mess. I got attacked by mosquitoes on my little anniversary getaway. Make sure that you're making it special and you're making it what her hair needs. Does she need moisture? Does she need protein? Does she need both? And pay attention to those things and make it special and talk about a plan for the next visit. Let them know that, you're always thinking about them. This visit, we just retouched your roots, but next time you need a couple more sparkles. So give yourself a little bit of extra time next time. Oh yes, I definitely want my sparkles. And they'll start to time their sparkles around special events. They'll pull out their calendar and they'll say, all right, just do the roots today because I want sparkles for my son's wedding. I want to make sure that I have the brightness around my face for his wedding. So they start to, plan it out almost like when you're on a diet and you want the special dessert for your birthday. They start to put it into their plan and that they have something to look forward to. And trust me, they're going to talk about that when they go out to dinner with their girlfriends. Their girlfriends are going to say, wow, you look so bright and cheery. Like, what did you do? What's different about you? And they're like, oh, my hairdresser, she said I needed some sparkles. And then I'll get a phone call a week later from a woman saying, I want sparkles. You gave Stacy sparkles. I want sparkles. Everybody wants sparkles. So think about what you're doing. Make sure that it's special. Don't worry about the home hair color. They're not your customer anyway. If they're going to pick up a box and slap it on their head, they were never your customer. But make sure that you're not doing to your client what they would be doing themselves with a box color. It's the same thing. Trust me. So that manufacturers are making money on both ends. They're selling color to us and making tons of money, and they're selling color to the consumer and making tons of money. And then they're selling the shampoo and conditioner and everything else, the styling products, to the consumer. So they're getting the biggest piece of the pie and we're low man on the totem pole. So we have to start behaving differently if we want to be paid differently. So we have to all up level our game. I hope most of you have already signed up for my boot camp. If you haven't, you want to go to Hair Colors Secrets Insider 5-day boot camp here on Facebook. Just put that in the search bar. Hair Colors Secrets Insider 5-day boot camp. Request to join and make sure that you put in your email address. If I don't get your email, I won't accept you, because for the boot camp, you need downloadable PDFs and I have to be able to send them to you through email prior to each class. So it's 5 free classes, 5 days in a row, starting November 17th. I have Beth Minardi joining us. She's so excited. She's advertising it on her forum, which is amazing. So we're going to have at least 2,000 people be part of this boot camp. Beth and I both are on a mission to raise up all of your income and make sure that you make a living and you're not working for less than your sales rep, and you can go on vacation, take a lunch break, take a day off when somebody dies. How many of us go to a funeral and then go right to work? We don't even give ourselves time to mourn and have a good cry. We get the funeral and we go right in and we service our clients. So it's time for us to take back our power and raise up our income by making the visit extra special. So get off that hamster wheel, make it special, and I will see you guys next Wednesday. Jump over and join that boot camp.